Anyone who grew up in the early 1980s fondly remembers He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Hell, when I was a kid, I absolutely loved all things He-Man. I thought it was the best cartoon ever. Little did I realize how completely fucking awful this show really was. While I still enjoy it for purely nostalgic reasons, it's safe to say that it's one of the absolute worst cartoons from the 80s. In honor of the upcoming Masters of the Universe movie reboot that's coming soon, let's take a look at 5 things about He-Man that, unless you're a huge fan, you don't know. Out of 130 episodes of the original cartoon series, He-Man hit someone exactly 0 times. That's right, He-Man never threw a punch at a living being. Despite being all buff and shit and having a badass sword, all he would ever do is throw the villains. Is it any wonder that he never stopped Skeletor or his useless henchmen? This series is notorious for having really crappy animation. In fact, they use the same footage over and over and over again in order to save money. Another instance is the fact that originally the flying magician Orko's name was going to be Gorpo. Having a giant G on his shirt would mean animators would have to double their workload to make sure the G was always facing the right direction. However, with an O, all you have to do is flip the footage. Boom! Instant productivity. It's actually why there's very little action in the show. Animating fight scenes cost money, man. And we're in the business of making money, not spending it. Speaking of the show being produced by a bunch of cheapskate bastards, executive producer Lou Scheimer voiced 26 characters on the show. Yeah, 26 of them. Notables included King Randor, Orko, Trapjaw, Manny Faces, and, of course, everyone's favorite, Fisto. Not only was old Lou doing most of the male voices, he had his daughter do the majority of the female voices. He-Man was a real family affair. Everyone knows how Prince Adam changes into He-Man.
By the power of Grayskull!
Do you know how he changes back into Prince Adam? In the original cartoon series, He-Man's transformation into Adam was only shown one time. In an episode entitled The Problem with Power, Skeletor and the Goblin General Tartaran devised a trick to make He-Man think he killed a man. With the guilt of being a murderer, he gives up being He-Man forever. So, how does he change back? He simply holds his sword aloft and says,
"Let the power return!"
Now you know, and no one's half the battle. Wait, wrong show. Most times, a hit cartoon is quickly followed by a succession of toys to capitalize on the success of the show. In the case of He-Man, the toys actually came before the show. As it turns out, Mattel had Filmation create the show in order to promote the toy line. It's one of the reasons why the show was done so cheaply and continued to introduce new characters. The new characters could be turned into new toys. New toys means more money. Mattel wins, and us kids are played like the suckers we were. Luckily, it was a much simpler time, and all we cared about was there was a show that for some reason we loved, despite the fact that it was actually pretty terrible. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to check out popculturecast.com and let me know all about it. You can also click on one of these beautiful title cards to watch another video to get your nerdy rocks off. Hit up the comments below to let me know your favorite He-Man moment and to blow our minds with other lesser known facts about the Masters of the Universe.